Well, President Donald Trump is in the UK, and we are looking at pictures now that thousands have been protesting upon his visit. As far as UK visit of Donald Trump is concerned, Stop Trump coalition that has led to massive protests and No to Trump slogans that has been raised with Trump Epstein images that has been beaming on the castle walls. What has now been said, people have been taken into custody over the Epstein image projection. Donald Trump's UK state visit seems to be marred by mass protests, public fury and confrontational street rallies as the crowds have been chanting against war and racism as the images of Trump and Epstein were projected on the Windsor Castle by the protesters. 4 of them have been taken into custody on Britain's Windsor Castle as this image of both of them that were projected. Now look at that. That's the third picture that you see of Trump Epstein images that has been projected, and there has been protest projections. And of course, when it comes to Donald Trump now clearly avoiding as far as when it comes to the public is concerned, because the British there seems to be showing their displeasure upon the visit of the President of the United States of America. We are looking at anti-Trump demonstrations that has been taking place the moment that he touched down at the London airport and he made his way to the Winfield House. This is the official residence of the US ambassador to the UK. Around 5,000 people that marched through the capital according to London's Metropolitan Police. Let's get in a word from Srinjoy now. Srinjoy, good morning. Mass protest that has been taking place. Donald Trump conveniently avoiding as far as when it comes to any public meeting is concerned. We have seen that he's been hosted at the state dinner, but right now the pictures that are now coming in, it is again anti-Trump images. When we look at Epstein and Trump images that has been projected on the castle walls.
Yes, there's a meeting with the Prime Minister, of course, and the King, King Charles III. But there are enough people in Britain, whether they are supporting the ruling Labour Party, the Liberals, or smaller parties like the Greens. So except for Nigel Farage's people who would be supporting Donald Trump, there are enough people in Britain who would oppose his policies, who would have disagreements with his views. So these are the people who are out, who are very critical of him, who don't approve of his policies in the Middle East, his policies that relate to cutting costs, the fact that this reduction of government is not something people are happy with all over the world. So all of those things are there. The most important disagreement for the British, perhaps, is this issue that relates to West Asia. And a lot of people do have differences with him about his support, almost unconditional support for Israel in its policies, in its actions against the Hamas and the Hezbollah and the Houthis and so on, and also Iran. So this is where people disagree with him. So as a result, you have all these protests, and there are going to be protests right through the time he is in Britain. So at this point, all these pictures show very angry people, very unhappy people, people who naturally disapprove of the American president. Now there are people who support him. All the people who like Nigel Farage will probably like Trump. So that is a very substantial percentage of the British electorate, and that percentage is possibly growing. But at this point, over these 2 days, you will see these protests.
All right. Well, as far as the local authorities that seemed keen to shield the president from any public admonishment, keeping all scheduled events behind closed doors amid heavy security. He was also notably kept away from the public crowds and mostly was contained within the walls of the Windsor Castle as members of the Stop Trump coalition gathered in London to protest against his visit. The Metropolitan Police has estimated around 5,000 people attended the anti-Trump rally at the Parliament Square, denouncing the US president as a fascist. And there were other protests taking place all over the country. Well, those pictures that are now coming in. Srinjoy continues to be with us.